Hello, this is a short movie which will document to you what problems you can have with Igor Pro and Windows 10, Igor Pro 7 and and Windows 10 at this time. So lots of times people may have a high resolution screens which may have a large number of pixels. For example, at this moment in front of me is a high definition screen, a TV high definition screen size. So if you go to customize your display settings and go to advanced display settings, you will find out that the resolution of display is 1920 by 1200, more than enough for any practical use of Irena, Nika, or any other Igor package I know about. Now, if you go back, you will find out that there is a slider here which changes the size, text, applications, under items. I have it set up to 150%. This actually changes something which in Windows 7 was called DPI. And it basically scales up the icons and it scales up the fonts and so on. It tells the application that they need to scale up the windows also, their own windows also. And this is here done so you can have a very high density of pixels and at the same time have window sizes which you can read. The problem is this doesn't work very well with Igor. So in this case, this is a reasonable setting for this high definition screen. But if I now go and start Igor7 and now what I will do is I will load Irena. Now the current version, which will be released soon enough, will actually find out this message has not been on the existing version. I'm recording this on the end of April, and the existing version doesn't have this. The new version will be able to tell you that you don't have large enough screen, but let me document. If you now go and say I want to use, for example, a unified fit, what happens is that you can see that you get a panel, and it looks to me or to anyone that there is only part of the panel, that there's no access to the buttons here. If you can still see these little arrows up here, you can actually move all the way down. So nothing is totally lost, but it makes it very cumbersome and difficult to use. Now, this can be fixed very easily. Let me close Igor. Let me right click on the desktop and say display settings. Notice this slider, if I slide it back down, everything scales back, and now you can see this is much smaller. Then, if I now close it and restart Igor Pro, and make it larger, and load Irena, and then I go to Unified Fit, you can see that the panel has fitted nicely. Now, in case you don't like this because it's too small to read, the other solution which you can do is you can keep the 100% DPI. Sorry, the wrong one. Display settings. You need to keep this DPI. You need to change that, and for example, you can go and make it into smaller number of pixels. When you do that, now everything's going to be larger. So the problem here is that the Igor, the way it addresses the DPI setting of the system, doesn't work very well, and then the panels, as they get scaled up, are not proportionally properly scaled, and so they are difficult to see. What you really need to do is, once more, on the display settings here on the desktop, you right click on the desktop, select display settings, make sure the slider is 100%, and if necessary, change the resolution of the display to lower number. Typical Irena and Nika panels require like 900 or 800 pixels vertical size, so you could easily go even to a smaller resolution, and then you can see that by now the panels fit basically on the whole screen. So unluckily, you will have to change the display settings if you want the Igor Pro and Irena and Nika work really well. I'm sorry about that, but this is obviously a system problem. This actually is not a problem on a Mac, so it's another good reason why to use a Macintosh.